And what's up, everybody? I'm back with another video game review, and today I am reviewing Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX, a remaster of the original version on the Game Boy, and now it's released on the Switch. The remaster version that I played came out in 2020, and it was once again given to me. Thank you to LikunMiffery for letting me borrow this game and giving me the opportunity to play it. But yeah, this was, I've played Pokemon Black 2, X, and Sword to this point, time of recording this. And so this was a different take on those other games because a lot of different mechanics and stuff. So I was very excited to try it and see how I would differ from the other Pokemon games that I have gotten the opportunity to play. And so I got a lot of thoughts on it. Let's jump right into it, shall we? First off, this game feels more graceful than a lot of the other Pokemon games that I played. And I think that's just because there's a little more linear, especially early on in the game. But the music, in my opinion, just felt better. And I don't know, that's just because it was a different type of the game or what, but that's just how I kind of felt with the gracefulness. Big thing that really was a good change for me was the combat. No longer are you going into a different area and then doing the battle one-on-one. Now you bring your whole team, and if you encounter an enemy, you all fight that enemy, whoever's in your team at the time. And I think that's cool. I like that method actually better, in my opinion, than the other way that most of the more mainline Pokemon games do it. I think it's nice. It adds a little more strategy, in my opinion, how to correctly position your Pokemon, and stuff like that. Who to use, what items to use. I don't know. It just felt a little bit. It's still, you're just pressing a button and letting the game do it and letting the battle commence. But it just felt better, in my opinion. The graphics of this game, they're not horrible. Pokemon games have a standard for graphical stuff, especially some of these newer ones. And so it lives up to that standard, but it's nothing incredible either. It's just okay, in my opinion. One thing that I noticed about this game is you can just let the game play itself, for the most part. This is where you're going like the dungeons and you do like the stuff in the dungeons. You can just press L and just let the Pokemon walk around. They will grab everything that they can grab. They will explore every area that they need to explore, and then they will get you right where you need to go to continue to the next one. And the only way that they'll stop doing that is if you manually make them stop, or they encounter an enemy. That's the only way they'll stop. But is that a bad thing? Yeah, it's hard to say. Because one, that takes away from, I think, a lot of the fun of exploring for some people. For some people, though, it could be nice. It allows them to get everything in the cave that they need to get, and do everything that they want to do, and see the whole thing without getting like turned around or stuck. That can take away from a lot of the frustration stuff. But then again, these dungeon cave things are not necessarily the most complex maze-wise. There's not a ton of goodies, especially early on in the game. You find a lot of enemies, especially later on, and there's stuff to do and see in them, and they're definitely important to explore. But compared to a lot of other games of this kind, it's not the most difficult. So, you mostly lean towards the first thing I said, where it's going to take away from a lot of the exploration effort. But I don't know, it could be easier for some people, especially since a lot of these dungeons are very much similar. And they're just more of a grinding climb for the most part, especially at the end of the game with the more massive ones. So maybe they'll like that better. I don't know. That's just kind of what I thought. Again, like I said, with the playing yourself, I think it's fine. But was it really necessary? I don't know. And then these dungeons, let's talk about them a little more. They gave me a very much of a Pikmin vibe with the caves in Pikmin 2 and 4. They're super simple, especially early on, and they mostly just feel like they're a grind to get especially the ones, because you range from 3 levels of the dungeons to 99 levels. That's a lot of levels to work through, especially when you're just going around and around and around and around and around and around. But they are important because, you know, that's where you get your items for the most part. That's where you fight enemies and you can level up, and that's where you complete your missions in the game and stuff like that. So they are important. Now I think this game came out, I think, before Pikmin 2. So probably Pikmin took inspiration. I don't know. I don't know how much they really updated these from the original game. I wouldn't know because I never played the original. But I mean, again, they just kind of they after a while they just seem pretty redundant and not the, you know, just something that you have to do. But I mean, it's a good way to level up and stuff. And so I guess that's probably why they included the self-exploration mechanic thing. Because they knew that could be a problem for many players, especially if they never played the first one. So, though a lot of the ones like I said, they're mostly very simple and easy. There are a few at the end that are pretty hard, and then the post-game ones get really, really difficult. That's where the challenge comes in. I didn't do too many of those, but I've heard stories about those, and yeah. So if you're looking for a challenge, you got to get to the post-game of this, and that's where the real challenge comes in. So then the story's all right. I mean, the story is you get transformed into a Pokemon and get sent into the Pokemon world, and you're with a partner, and you form this rescue team, and you go around and rescue stuff, and then eventually, like, if you're trying to figure out why you got turned into a Pokemon, you're trying to figure out your past as a human, and you're going around, and you eventually get exiled, and then you get to come back, and then you fight a bunch of stuff, and you know, I'm not gonna spoil the story too much, but the story is fine. It's pretty interesting to play, but it's not the most compelling story out there. Though I do like that the story continues even into the post game, because not many games do that, where the story where you continue to learn more story stuff. It's pretty important in the post game. That's awesome that they did that. I really like that. I like the one thing I do like over the other Pokemon games that I played versus this one is the way you get the Pokemon. Because this one, you add them to your team and do that kind of stuff, and then they're in your squad, and you can change out certain Pokemon for teams. So, and that's fine, I guess. But I always like throwing the Pokeball at it and then capturing it, and then you have it, and then you can evolve it and stuff like that. I think it's just a better way of doing it. Personally, though I know a lot of people like this method as well. It's not a bad method. I just like the other one better. Last thing I'll say, I do like that there is a friendship incentive with the online play. You can go rescue friends, actual friends, and then in real life, or just people online. I think it's a pretty cool way to do it. Though I don't know how well of any advantage that was probably taken, though I think it's a really cool thing. So that's what I liked about it. So overall, this is a pretty fun game, though it can be a drag. It's pretty boring, simple, but it takes a long time for the challenge to get in. Someone said that this is an acquired taste game, and that's something that I will 100% agree with, because it's not the biggest. You really, yeah, like I said, it's an acquired taste, and yeah. So, oh well. Anyway, that's pretty much all I got for my review. For my final score, though, of Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX, probably a 6. I didn't really enjoy it as much as, it's a better version. Overall, I like it better than the other Pokemon games that I played. It's just very boring and really hard for me to get involved with. So, but anyway, that's going to do it for this review. If you've ever played this game, the original or the remake, I'd love to know your thoughts about them in the comment section down below. And that's going to do it for this video as well. So stay tuned for much more amazing content, including more game reviews and other awesome stuff. Until next time, I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.